Welcome to your first session on marketing. We are going to start this first topic by discussing the concept of marketing and in particular the different definitions of marketing that we have. And hopefully by the end of this session, both of us will be able to reach a conclusion on what exactly marketing is. So the first question that we have to think is, what exactly is marketing? Marketing is one of those concepts that you hear all the time. You think of marketing as advertisements, and it is a component of marketing. In fact, I want you guys to think about this for a moment. In the 70s, there were an average of 500 advertisements that consumers were exposed to on a daily basis. The figure today in 2019 or 2020 in this case is around 5,000 adverts every single day. And as you can see, this is a massive jump. And every single time that we think about this concept of marketing, we're really thinking about the exposure of advertisements that we have, either on the television or social media, or even when you're walking on the street and you see an advertisement on the side of a bus. But is that really what marketing is all about? No. Marketing covers a wide array of activities. It's all about bringing products and services to customers, and it's about finding the right product and the right service that fits the needs of what we call a target market. And that means that marketing is not just focused on one little element of advertising, which is bringing exposure of the product to you. It's actually a big concept and has a lot of interrelationships with different business departments in order to give you the right product at the right time for the right price. So when you think of marketing, you can think of marketing as a vast activity in business that is very much at the center of everything that a business does. And it goes much, much more beyond advertising or sales promotions. So we're going to start by looking at what exactly marketing is then. And we have three definitions that I want you to take some time and analyze them. So if we start by reading the first one, marketing is the management process responsible for identifying, anticipating, and satisfying customer requirements profitably. And this definition is by the Chartered Institute of Marketing. The second definition, marketing is the activity, set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. This is the definition by the American Marketing Association. And the last one is one of your core textbooks. Marketing is the process by which companies create value for customers and build strong customer relationships in order to capture value from customers in return. Now, you might be sitting there and thinking, oh, what does this all mean? So what I would like you to do is take a pause in this video, and I want you to look at the key elements on each of these definitions. And I want you to be able to try to tell me, what are the similarities? Are they using similar words in particular? Are there words that are repeated in each definition? Take your time to analyze these and highlight them. So go on, take a little break on this video so you can analyze this for a minute. Now, if you've analyzed this, you should have come up with a conclusion by now, that there are certain words that are repeated and certain words that might not be exactly repeated, but they are trying to convey similar meaning. So what have I done was I've color-coded these for you. So you can see that the three definitions talk about process. So you have process, processes, and process in red. You have in green, identifying, anticipating, and satisfying, creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging value, creating value, capturing value. And then you have in yellow, customers, customer, clients, partners, and society at large. And again, customer, customer relationship, and again, customer. So there is some commonality on what they are saying. So what exactly are the common points that we have from these three definitions of marketing, and what exactly do they mean? So the first common point, marketing is a process, a management process, very similar to many other core functions of marketing. Human resources is a process, finance is a process, operations is a process, and marketing is no different from that. That means that it's not a one-off activity. It's a continuous effort that is repeated every single day, every single month, every single quarter, and every single year, which means that marketing requires a plan that has resources allocated, that has money and budgeting, that has some sort of implementation and some sort of mechanism of control. This is the most important element of marketing for you guys to think of, not just an advertisement. Marketing is a much more complex activity because it's a series of different elements that are connected with one another. Marketing is about giving customers what they want. Marketing is customer-centric. That means that the products and services that we create is to fit the needs of an end consumer or a customer. This is at the heart of everything that we do in marketing. So we are customer-centric because everything is about the end user. Marketing identifies and anticipates customer requirements. Now, this point is in sequence of the point that I just made about customer centricity. We only know if you want a specific product or service after we've researched. So researching the market is a fundamental activity in the very big process of marketing that is about understanding the needs of the consumer. It's about understanding how we can cater to the consumer. How can we create a product or service that fits their requirements? Marketing is an exchange process. This is very similar to any other business activity that we have. So it's what in Latin would say it's the quid pro quo. And that means in many other ways, it's just that there always has to be something that I give in return or exchange for something else. So this exchange, it means that there is a mutual benefit for both parties. And at the most basic of levels, it's about you acquiring a product that fits your needs and paying me in return for providing you with that product. These were the common points. However, there are points that are of disagreement within those three definitions. And in fact, points that we would say are not exactly correct in those three definitions. Number one, you hear a lot about capturing value and profitability in those definitions. And it assumes that marketing is all about profit. It might have been at one point of time. Today is much broader than that. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that private companies are not making profit with marketing activities. Of course they are. But what I mean is marketing today doesn't just exist in private companies' domain. Non-for-profits like charities use marketing. The government uses marketing. You even have private citizens using marketing. And that element of using marketing is not necessarily because they want to make money. It might be to establish a platform, to raise awareness, to create an element of understanding. So there's a lot of different objectives to using marketing that are not necessarily only for the generation of profit. Marketing only thinks about what we will learn, the 4 Ps. So the product, the price, the promotion, and the distribution of ideas, goods, and services. Once again, this is a limited idea. Again, it doesn't mean that they don't, because they do. The 4 Ps, even though it's an old-fashioned perspective today, it's still very much applicable in many ways to the concept of marketing. However, it's not just that. So marketing today, and in particular in the globalized world that we live in, has a much broader role. There's a broader role of retaining customers, not just acquiring them, but in particular, it has a very important role about bringing relationships between brands and customers, which is what we call customer relationship management and marketing relationship. That is one key point of marketing activities that doesn't necessarily focus on the product or the service that I'm selling, but rather focuses on a relationship and a sense of loyalty between brands and customers. Customers are not the only focus of marketing. You hear, apart from the American Marketing Association definition, which was very recently revamped, you see the other definitions and they all talk about customer, 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 customer. Today, marketing doesn't just look at customers, they look at customers and consumers and clients and partners, but in particular, and this is something we're going to talk about in a minute, about society at large, has a much broader focus than just the people that are buying your product. So based on this, and thinking about the common points and the argumentative points, I want to bring forth a 4th definition. Marketing is to establish, maintain, and enhance relationships with customers and other partners at a profit so that the objectives of the parties involved are met. This is achieved by a mutual exchange and fulfillment of promises. It's, again, not a perfect definition. It can also be criticized, but it's slightly closer to what we would call a contemporary view of marketing and the marketing role it has in society.